Cowboys on the move. Shannon, where would you rank Skip's Cowboys right now?
Well, I'd have the middle of the pack. I think they're somewhere between 15 and 20 seems about right to me, Skip. I think top 10 is crazy. I don't believe this team is as good. I think their defense is good, but team, that's what this is about. This is not about a particular unit on a team. This is about the team as a whole, offense, defense, and special teams. And I don't think right now as a team they're very good. They're 30th in scoring offense. They're 8th in scoring defense. Cooper Rush is, of those teams, I think only one team, maybe Cincinnati, and they're still trying to figure themselves out. Basically four new offensive linemen trying to figure out to get back that form that they had captured the last half of last season that catapulted them into the Super Bowl. But I just think the thing is what happened is that Dak's gone out and they've had the benefit of playing some teams that aren't very good, especially the Giants. Like I said, the Bengals are trying to figure things up, and they get the Washington football team coming in this week, coming into their building. We'll talk about them a little later. So for me, right now, they played, 3 teams since Dak has gone out. The Washington football team on Sunday aren't very good. The Giants, I don't think as a team is very good. They have a few good players, but they aren't very good as a team. Cincinnati's trying to figure things out, Skip. So for me, nah, I'm not.
Wait, who'd they play in the opener? I forget.
You lost.
So long ago.
You lost. That's why
but who'd they play?
Skip. You do.
Oh wait, they played the Buccaneers, who have the best defense in pro football. I don't know.
You do realize that when you say who did they play in the opening game and they lost, you make my point for me.
A garbage opening schedule, said Shannon Sharpe.
Skip.
Tampa Bay, Cincinnati, which almost won last year's Super Bowl and is on the way to winning the AFC again. I don't care what you say. And then the Giants, who you raved about, had a hot defense.
No, Skip.
Wink Martindale. Skip. He's turned around that defense.
Skip. They beat Baker Mayfield and they beat Ryan Tannehill.
Okay. Ryan Tannehill and that team, they're not bad.
Now they're not bad.
Well, I don't think they're bad.
You have little to no respect to Ryan Tannehill.
I don't, but I respect the head coach and I respect
but
the
he don't play
team.
I respect the head coach. I played against the head coach, but he's not playing football. So by the end of the year, we'll see where this team is. We'll see if they're in the top 10 in power rankings by the end of the year. You'll be disappointed again, and you'll say that dadgummit Jerry Jones did it to me again. I'm done.
Dadgummit? Yeah. I don't think I've ever said dadgummit in my life.
You know what?
Go ahead.
You'll say
Jerry might have said dadgummit.
Yeah. You'll say, I'm done with this football team until next football season, until the draft rolls around and they start OTAs and things, and you'll be right back on the bandwagon again. But you and I both know, we know how it's going to end. They can be 8th, they can be 1st in the power rankings. But you know how this is going to end.
Okay. So Shannon Sharpe says, my team, the Dallas Cowboys, are middle of the pack. What should I call them? 15, 16, 17?
Somewhere between 15 and 20.
15 and 20. Well, that's a wide range.
Hold on. Is it really?
Yeah.
Because one team has them at 16.
Power ranking, yeah.
One team has them at 17. So I think it's well within my scope to say 15 to 20.
Okay, so I'm going to pin you down. Will you pick 18 then? Can I go middle of the pack?
17 is middle between 15
Shannon
and 20.
Sharpe says right now the Dallas Cowboys are the 17th best team in pro football.
Yeah.
Okay, before I answer Jen's question, let me explain to you why this is all highly amusing to me. Tyron Smith goes down and out maybe for the whole year. They're talking about December. I have a hard time believing that, especially at his advanced age.
Correct.
And everybody says, uh-oh, the Dallas Cowboys are in big trouble. Then on opening night, Dak stinks it up. Everybody forgot about that. But he breaks his throwing hand thumb near the end of the game. And he is gone for a while. We're not sure how long. And everybody, except maybe somebody on this side of the table, said the Dallas Cowboys are done. Am I right about that? Wasn't that just the rampant belief in the NFL world?
But you thought they were done against Cincinnati
Dallas
because
Cowboys
you did pick
done.
the Bengals.
I told you I'm not going to pick the Cowboys again the rest of the year. I told you I'm on record. I'm not going to jinx them again, and I will stand. That's a vow from me. So you don't try to do that to me anymore because I'm out on that.
Okay.
So the point is, then Cooper Rush beats Cincinnati, and everybody, the whole NFL world, sits back and giggles at Cooper Rush. Ha ha ha! Cooper Rush, that's funny. Then Cooper Rush goes up to the Giants just when the NFL world thought the Giants are back. This is they're the hot team. They're the surprise team of the league. And Cooper Rush clutches the Giants again. And everybody sits back on Monday night, late Monday night, and said, oh, bleep. Maybe the Cowboys are better than we thought. And then you start
Nobody
looking at
said that,
these.
but
Yes,
you.
they did. Everybody said that. Deep down, Shannon Sharpe said, oh, bleep. Maybe they're way better than I thought. So now we have these 3 power rankings, and they're all over the map. But we do have USA Today has vaulted the Cowboys from 16th, Nate Davis, down all the way up to 10th. ESPN had them at 21, but brings them up to 16. And then bringing up the rear is The Athletic, who dropped my Cowboys, and I told you this was ludicrous, dropped them all the way to 25 last week. 25. There are only 32 teams in the league.
Right.
25th, and now has moved them up 8 slots to 17th. And Shannon Sharpe says 17th. So you concur with The Athletic.
Yeah, I concur that somewhere between 15 and 20 seems to be the perfect landing spot for your Cowboys.
But you won't pin yourself down because you're afraid they're much closer to 15th than 20th.
Okay, but Skip,
I'm just saying.
You wanted to be 15? Okay, they're 15th.
Okay, so you just moved up?
They're 15th because I want you to be happy with the placement that I
I'm
placed.
not happy. I'm just trying to pin you down.
I'm
because
down.
You're waffling all over the place.
Skip.
The Cowboys make you eat breakfast waffles more than any team in the history of sports.
Skip, but here's the thing. You're bragging and you're crowing about they beat the Giants. They've won 10 of 11 against the Giants. Andy Dalton beat the Giants. Every quarterback that Dallas has had in the last 3, 4, 5 years has beaten the Giants. So it's not. It
was the new improved Giants defense with Wink Martindale. You told me that repeatedly. You said it. I didn't say it.
You keep talking about a unit. It's the New York Football Giants, not the Giants defense. Offense and special teams make up a team. Let's talk about the Giants team. What you do all the time is you make it about a specific unit. Talk about the team. Talk about, you keep talking about, oh, Micah. You're 30th in scoring offense. You're near the bottom in total offense. So stop this notion talking about one particular unit of a team and talk about the team.
You remember what happened on opening night?
You lost.
To Dak Prescott.
I do
you remember what his
lost.
numbers were? 14 of 29. That's below 50%, if my math is correct. And he threw for a grand total of 134 yards before he went out mid-fourth quarter. And his QBR was 24. That scaled 0 to 100, and that is pathetic. Because a year ago on opening Thursday night, he threw for 403 in what I thought was the game of his life against the GOAT, at the GOAT, and got goated at the end and lost 31 to 29.
Right.
So then down the stretch last year, some of his more infamous QBRs were a 23 against your Broncos, at Kansas City an 11. 11? Are you kidding? Against the Raiders on Thanksgiving, they won the coin toss and lost the game in overtime. He had a 49, which is one notch below average. Against Washington, at Washington, they were pathetic. He had a 12. Against Kyler, he was a little better, but they lost. He had a 67. And then he brought up the rear with losing to San Francisco in a home playoff game with a grand total of a QBR of 32. It was one horrendous performance after another after another. So all of a sudden, my eye test tells me 2 things. I'll start quickly with the defense. The defense is a top 5 defense. It leads the league in sacks because that's what it does for a living. And that defensive front is hellacious deep and hellacious good. I wasn't even sure about the second-round pick, Sam Williams, because he doesn't stop the run very well. But he's got some Randy Gregory in him because he is flashing on my TV screen because he can rush the passer. Good. Then we have this other guy named DeMarcus Lawrence. I don't know if you remember him, but he's pretty good because his nickname is Tank, and he was tanking against
Evan Neal,
Daniel
who's given up 3 sacks, who gave up 3 sacks in the game. Name the offensive line that's really good that they faced. Hold on. You was just crowing the other day about Tampa's horrible offensive line. You were Cincinnati, gave up 7 sacks. Joe Burrow's been sacked more times than grocery at Kroger. And now the Giants gave up, and now you talk about your defense. Name the offensive line that they played that's been any good.
All I know is I told you from the start, I got 11 from heaven and you don't. That's what I know. I got Micah. I got a chance because Dan Quinn is my unofficial head coach. He is the leader of this football team, and this defense is responding to him at a top 5 level. And I believe that's going to hold true the entire year. Whatever chance I have, they will hold true. They will always be pretty to very good in every game. In some games, they're going to be great. So once you have that, that's what I said about the Athletic last week. You cannot tell me it's the 26th best team when it has that unit on that side, because that unit is enough to keep this team in every game it plays.
But at some point in time, you got to score points. That unit was good enough to beat San Francisco. But what happened? Your offense that scored all those points, that accumulated all those yards, couldn't do what? Because it's a team. So this one unit that you keep glowing about, it does not matter.
Okay. So then I read The Athletic, and it's got a lot of ha-ha in it about Cooper Rush. Has Dak Prescott been Wally-pipped? You remember Wally-pipped?
Yeah, I do. Lou Gehrig.
And all that. Okay. It sounds ridiculous, but since relieving Prescott in week 1, blah, 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 you know what Cooper Rush has done. And then the writer of this little capsule comes out of that and says, okay, we're kidding. Ha, 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 Cooper Rush.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, ha, ha, ha.
You too. He's talking to you, Skip. You didn't notice
here's what my eyes have seen, and I only say what I see. I have seen Cooper Rush play not 1 or 2. I've seen him play 3 games better than any game Dak Prescott played last year after opening Thursday night. 3 games better than any. And I dare you, I defy you to go find one game where you say Dak was better in that game than Cooper Rush has been in all 3 of his games. Cooper Rush has played the best 3 backup quarterback first starts, the first 3 starts. No one in the history of this league has played better for 3 straight games. Even Jimmy G was pretty good, but remember, he got hurt right away in his second start. So I have to disqualify that because he couldn't keep on keeping on. He was obviously playing for a very good team. But Cooper Rush has been sensationally but subtly off-radar clutch in all 3 games. He throws, with 55 seconds left, a touchdown pass to Amari Cooper to win on the road on the solo Sunday night stage at Minnesota. You love Kirk Cousins. You picked him to be in the NFC Championship game this year. He did that. He won the only game for the Cowboys last year in which they did not rush for 100 yards. Every game that Dak won last year, they had 100-plus yards rushing. In this game at Minnesota, they had a grand total of 78, but Cooper Rush, with 55 seconds left, throws the winning touchdown pass to win 20-16. Then against Cincinnati, just when I thought all was lost, in the final minute of the game, he completes 3 straight huge passes, really good passes against a really good secondary and a pretty good pass rush and a very good defense. 3 straight to set up a walk-off field goal. And then at Giants, I thought we were dead in the water again. I thought it was going to be another typical, oh, well, here we go again, Dallas Cowboy game. Saquon gets loose for 36 yards. The Giants stadium goes berserk. All of a sudden, as LeBron tweeted, Saquon is back, baby. And it's 13-6 Giants. And guess what Cooper Rush does? He says, okay, I got this. And he goes 75 yards in 9 plays. And then the defense rises up, inspired, and forces a punt, and Cooper Rush says, I got you. He goes 89 yards in 11 plays, including a 4th and 4 conversion at the Giants' 41. That is the play and throw of the game. Can we see that real quick? I just got to remind everybody what this looked like. Shannon Sharpe, the Hall of Famer, says it's bad defense. But if we could just see what this looks like. This is 4th and 4, and he had some mustard on that throw. Huh, interesting.
Slot corners looking inside, so Cooper Rush knows he's coming.
Boom.
The safety's got to walk down and take that away.
CD says, I got this. I know I'm going to take a shot. And
no,
CD
it's got to be bang, bang.
Yep. And it's right on the money, as are almost all of Cooper Rush's passes. So I'm seeing a Cooper Rush who has been consistently more accurate and who has consistently speed-read defenses and found open receivers quicker than Dak has consistently over the last year. I'm sorry, that's what I'm seeing because I know what I'm talking about when it comes to quarterback play.
Can I ask you a question? If that was the case, why in the hell would Jerry pay? If Cooper Rush is this, why would Jerry give Dak $160 million? He got the guy on his bench. Okay. Why didn't you say Cooper Rush is the guy? Go with Cooper Rush. You was begging for him to sign Tom Brady.
Okay, obviously, Nobody had ever seen Cooper Rush in a real football game.
You saw him last year against Minnesota.
Okay, well, Dak had already gotten his $75 million for last year.
But they had already saw him in practice. If he's what you saw, if he's
I know, practice has nothing to do with the game, so they don't know. They're watching scout team. They're watching preseason games in which he plays almost every snap, but it's with twos against threes and twos.
And you're willing to stake all of this on 3 games?
3 huge games, huge performances, clutch performances, subtle clutch performances. I told you yesterday he has been unspectacularly special. But the harder I look at this, the Giants threw every kitchen sink in New Jersey at him. Wink Martindale's coming after him with extra blitzers or rushers.
But they don't get home.
They don't get home because he is speed reading and getting rid of the ball at Brady pace. This was Brady. Well, do you know how it works?
I do.
If you get rid of the football when people are right in your face and about to hit you, they can't hit you.
Yes.
He went down 0 times against the Giants. That was an incredible achievement on that night when you were the first to say, they're going to light him up. And they did. They sent everybody after him. And every throw that I saw him make, the big ones, he had people right in his face who had to pull up at the last second because the ball is gone. You can speed read and you can beat the defense at its own game, because if you can see it and feel it and anticipate it quickly enough and get rid of the ball, your arm strength no longer matters. He doesn't have Dak's arm. He's got a nice arm. It's good enough to work in the National Football League.
Yes.
It's a notch below Dak. He doesn't have Dak's mobility, but remember, Dak doesn't have near the mobility he used to have because of the career-threatening ankle. He's not that guy anymore. He's not 2016, 2017 Dak anymore. So I think that's kind of a wash. But in the end, all Cooper Rush is doing is making play after play after play. And they are showing you that because he has such fearless poise, they have complete trust in him. Let's hark back to one other play the other night. Well, what was the opening play of the game? The Giants win the toss and they defer because they said, Cooper Rush? Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah.
We'll stymie him right out of the box. What does Cooper Rush do on the first play of the game? Do they hand it to Zeke for 1 yard as usual? Nope. He goes play action, and he throws a pretty sweet out to guess who, CeeDee Lamb, and it accomplishes 2 things. It gets the Giants back on their heels like, hey, we ain't afraid of no Giants defense. And it gets CeeDee the football in his hands on the first play of the game where you can feel like, I'm actually a part of this tonight, right?
Okay.
And he got hit. It's against double coverage, but he was fearless. He just says, no, I got this. So my point is, they were in attack mode from the start. On 4th and 4, Mike McCarthy didn't even hesitate. You know, it's not Ben DiNucci in there. It's not Garrett Gilbert. It's not even Andy Dalton. He's way better than Andy Dalton was as a backup quarterback.
Well, Skip, this is what you know about on first down. Most on first down, teams are going to be very basic in their coverage.
Sure they are.
Come out and cover one. And so you know it. You play fake inside, you hold the linebackers, and then you get to throw one-on-one. It's as easy as shooting fish in a barrel.
Okay, so why doesn't everybody do it on first down? Because my Cowboys are notorious, especially under Jason Garrett, notorious for Zeke -1, Zeke 0, maybe 1, and all of a sudden it's 2nd and 9 with your backup quarterback, and usually they say, okay, let's try Zeke off tackle, and he goes for -2, and all of a sudden it's 3rd and 11, right?
So if I'm hearing you correctly, you're glowing about Cooper Rush. So this is Dak's last year in Dallas.
No, heck, I'm
Why
not saying that.
Why not? Hold on. Wait a minute. You just said Cooper Rush has played 3 games better than any game Dak played last year.
Okay, refute that. Refute it.
No.
Refute it, Hall of Famer.
No,
you know why you can't.
No, that's not what I asked you.
You cannot.
Don't talk about refute. I asked you a simple question. Next year, Cooper Rush instead of Dak Prescott.
Well, obviously, they owe Dak Prescott way too much money. Way too much money.
No, there ain't no such thing as way too much money. If he's the better guy, pay him instead of Dak. Trade Dak. Somebody would be willing to trade for Dak.
No, I don't know if they would.
Well, that's not your concern. All I'm saying is you'll have a cheaper option, and now you'll be able to go out and add pieces around Dak.
It's possible.
You'll be able to add pieces around Cooper Rush. So I want to get you on the record, Mr. Hall of Fame journalist that's been covering the game for 45 years. Is Cooper Rush the starting quarterback next year in Dallas?
I have no idea.
Why not?
Got to let it play.
Why? You've seen enough.
He's only playing 3 games.
Now he's only playing, Skip.
Okay, are they 3 better than Dak has played since the opening Thursday night last year? You won't answer the question because you can't.
No, because
you can't because you know I'm right.
Now all of a sudden it's only 3 games. You just came out here and spent 15 minutes talking about 3 games, and that was more than enough for you. Now all of a sudden it's not enough for you. He's only played 3 games. You just spent 15 minutes talking about this 3 games was enough.
Well, I've seen better than Dak, right?
Okay, so he should be the starter.
Okay. Well, I think they're going to give the job back to Dak because that's what everybody says, even though Jerry says, I would welcome a quarterback controversy.
Yes.
And as a fan, I'm saying, what's wrong with that statement? Because I would crawl all the way to New York for a quarterback controversy because it can only help the football team because it would mean that Cooper Rush will beat Washington. And I don't know if he can beat, I'm waiting to see. Can he beat Washington? And then it might even mean that Cooper Rush went to L.A. and beat the Rams out here at SoFi, right?
In 2 weeks, yes.
Okay, that would be sensational.
Right.
I would be ecstatic over that, and I would welcome the controversy even if they gave Dak the job back at Philadelphia.
Why would you give Dak the job back against a quarterback that's playing better than any game Dak played last year outside of one?
Okay.
So why would you give Dak the job back?
Okay,
I thought you were going hot hand.
He's the incumbent, but more important, you gave him whatever the total is, $200 million.
We just spent Monday talking about that you can lose your job because of injury. You just mentioned at the beginning of the show Wally Pipp. Wally Pipp lost his job because he had a headache.
I told you he was doing it facetiously.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
Yes.
But how did Tom Brady get the job? It was because of injury.
How did Dak Prescott get the job?
Because of injury. So you can lose your job. So you can lose your job. So I want to know why would they give Dak his job back? Skip Bayless just told me for the last 2 weeks that Cooper Rush has played better this year than any game that Dak played last year outside of the Tampa game.
Okay,
so why would you give him the job back?
You know what I would love if they do give him the job back? I told you this yesterday. The beauty of this would be all of a sudden he would be on notice because Cowboy Nation would be on edge of seats. You better play up to the $75 million you made last year. You better play up to the total where you took Jerry to the cleaners and then to the bank. For the first time ever, there would be no excuse. He wouldn't get a thumb excuse. It would be show us right here, right now. And if he doesn't, you know, and I know Jerry's got the guts to plunge. He plunged in the oil fields. He would plunge with Cooper Rush. If he got the guts to plunge with Cooper Rush and don't give Dak the job back. Okay. If you won't plunge. Well, why not? What would you do? You'd give Dak the job back. I want you on record right now. Cooper Rush is just a flash in the pan. I want to hear that.
Cooper Rush
flash in pan.
Cooper Rush is a guy.
Is a guy.
He's not special.
Does that mean flash in pan?
So let me.
Does that mean a blip instead of a trend?
So in other words, what you're saying that after this season, there are going to be teams lining up to sign Cooper Rush to be their starter.
They well might.
No. I want to hear you say yes or no.
Well, we're early in the process here. For all I know, my team might fall on its face masks against Washington, but I don't think it will be Cooper Rush's fault if they lose.
But I'm saying you just told me that 3 games is enough. Now all of a sudden you haven't seen enough.
Well, we're early in the year right now. You've seen enough. You have written him off as just another guy,
yes,
right? Thank you. I'm on record with Shannon Sharpe.
Yes.
I appreciate that. I'm going to hold you to it.
Elliott had high praise for Cooper Rush after that win over the Giants. He called him Cooper Clutch, starting a new nickname. Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Subscribe here to get the very latest from Skip and Shannon. Plus, go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.